I hope you're all ready for an awesome third episode of my Players Stories videos because I have an NFL legend in today's episode. I did an extensive amount of research on one of the best defensive backs to ever play the game of football, Charles Woodson. So I'm pretty excited about this because I grew up watching him play and know how outstanding of a player and person he is. This was another subscriber recommendation, so make sure if you want a player featured in one of my videos, definitely leave a comment and let me know whom you'd like to learn about. The list is growing quite a bit of who I'll be making videos for, but I can always add to that list. Alright, let's get into the story behind Charles Woodson. So there is a ton of information on Charles Woodson because of his awesome football career, but he has a very interesting personal life as well. Currently, he's a retired NFL player, philanthropist, ESPN analyst, and an owner of a winery with his own signature wine. Woodson played in the NFL from 1998 until 2005. In 2008, he started his own foundation that he's still currently running called the Charles Woodson Foundation. He currently works as an ESPN analyst, like I said, on NFL segments such as Sunday NFL Countdown. I'll get into his winery ownership in the foundation in a later segment of the video. Now for some of his historic college statistics. Charles Woodson was a University of Michigan Wolverine and did very well in his college football career. Not only did he play cornerback on defense, but he also occasionally played wide receiver and returned kicks and punts. He ended his college career after his junior year, where he recorded the second most in the league with 7 interceptions during the season. He entered the NFL draft after this historic season. His incredible playmaking ability led him to become the first and only primarily defensive player to ever win the Heisman Trophy, beating out the future Hall of Famer Peyton Manning. That's just incredible. He finished his college with a total of 18 interceptions, including 2 interceptions for touchdowns. He finished his college year with a Rose Bowl championship win and then headed to the NFL. Once entering the NFL draft, he was a highly coveted player and was drafted at the 4th overall pick by the Oakland Raiders. He would later become the NFL Defensive Rookie of the Year and was also selected to the Pro Bowl that year. Charles played for the Oakland Raiders from 1998 through 2005, then with the Packers from 2006 through 2012, and then he finished his career with the Raiders 3 more years after, ending in 2015. He played a total of 254 NFL games, along with 17 playoff games, while winning 1 Super Bowl as well when he was with the Packers. He had an astounding 1,105 tackles over his career. He also recorded 11 interception touchdowns on 65 interceptions, with 20 sacks and 2 fumble recovery touchdowns as well. His NFL numbers go on, and they are all insane. He had quite the NFL career, and I expect him to be inducted in the NFL Hall of Fame as soon as he possibly becomes eligible in 2021. If you haven't ever seen some of his defensive highlights, I highly suggest looking up some of his career highlight videos, as he is one of the most impressive cornerbacks to ever play the game of football. So let's get back to those few things about his personal life. Charles grew up in Ohio and played football throughout high school. He was even named Mr. Football for the state of Ohio when he graduated. What may really surprise you, and definitely surprised me, is that through his high school career, Charles Woodson actually played running back. He was recruited by all colleges except for one at the running back position. The one college that recruited him at a different position, well, you guessed it, it was Michigan. They recruited him as a defensive back, and it turned out to be an amazing decision. Woodson has been a star throughout every level of football and is one of those rare success stories throughout his entire football career. Going back to him being a philanthropist, he does have his own foundation that supports a hospital in Michigan for pediatric research, as well as provides 2 scholarships for his alma mater, Michigan. Woodson also owns his own winery, as he grew fond and interested in wine while playing for Oakland, since it's near the wine production area of Napa Valley. His label is called Charles Woodson Wines, and you can even find his signature on some of the wine bottles. Lastly, I think it's important to mention that besides being a shoo-in for the NFL Hall of Fame in the future, Woodson has already been inducted to the Rose Bowl Hall of Fame. Overall, he had one of the most successful NFL and college careers of any defensive player in the history of the NFL, and was a fantastic person while playing at such a high level. Well, that's all I have for you about Charles Woodson. This was probably the most interesting player story yet because of how historic his football career has been. I also had no idea that he owned a winery and he had his own signature label. As always, make sure to comment with a player you'd like to learn about, and I'll add that player to my list for future episodes. The list is getting long, so get on there quickly, guys. If you enjoyed this video, let me know by liking the video as well. If you aren't already subscribed, I'd love it if you would. Well, until next time, everyone, stay tuned for the next Player Story episode featuring Le'Veon Bell.